Which contemporary fighter do you most enjoy watching right now?
Out of the big-time fighters now?
Have you ever wondered how a fighter can defy time and expectations? Could a 46-year-old legend still move with the lightning speed that once conquered the world?
Don't shadow boxing like that.
Yeah, it's lazy, right? Just kind of...
When you do the shadow boxing like that, what is that for?
The gym lights glare on the canvas as Manny Pacquiao glides through shadowy mitt drills. Every jab snaps like a whip. Every pivot whispers stories of decades in the ring. His hands blur. His footwork hums with the echoes of past glory. Observers blink, unable to believe an athlete of his age could still summon such raw, kinetic poetry. Even ringside veterans shake their heads, marveling at the blend of muscle memory and veteran instinct.
Because you can apply that in habit. You become a habit. When you start boxing like...
Mike Tyson watched from afar, arms crossed, brow furrowed. The former king of knockouts saw something that shattered any sentimental notions of old fighter. This was not a friendly dance or a nostalgic exhibition. It was genuine, it was urgent, and it carried the pulse of real competition. Tyson's words cut through the gym's ambient noise. Pacquiao's speed remained intact, his snap remained crisp, and his spirit still burned brighter than most men half his age. Critics snarled when Manny announced his return. They labeled it a sideshow, a vacation for a once proud warrior. They questioned how a man could step back into the ring after years away and face a prime contender. Yet, every jab, every weave, every thunderous bag workout began to dismantle that narrative. What looked like nostalgia revealed itself as purpose. Pacquiao moved not like a star remembering his past, but like a predator stalking future prey.
The speed is still there. Woo!
The choice of opponent spoke volumes. Mario Barrios, strong and confident, holds a title no one can dismiss outright. He's young, hungry, and built for war. On paper, age should tip the scales, but paper does not capture heart. Tyson, Malignaggi, Algieri, Marquez, voices from boxing's pantheon, each weighed in. Some saw folly, others genius. But all acknowledged one truth: Pacquiao's return was no mere publicity stunt. It carried gravity. Each training video fueled buzz online, speed drills, shadow fights, heavy bag blitzes. They all told the same story. A man half a lifetime removed from his prime still carving out brilliance. That image haunted opponents. It whispered in their heads, "You might face him tomorrow?" Barrios's corner studied those reels, watched those angles. The question etched in their strategy sessions: how to handle a legend rediscovered. Behind the scenes, Freddie Roach's keen eyes dissected every nuance. He's trained Pacquiao through title fights and wars that defined eras. Roach saw more than muscle. He saw a fighter's keen edge sharpening with each session. The famed cornerman noted the hallmarks of youth: quick hips, snappy feet, a predator's focus. He analyzed it day by day, measuring reflexes, gauging stamina, ensuring Manny's engine ran hotter than headlines suggested.
Pacquiao looks sensational his last fight. Oh, it's sensational.
Doubters raised old wounds. He took 6 years off. Legends aren't made for comebacks. Yet Pacquiao's camp answered with tangible proof. Endurance tests rivaled men in their 20s. Speed tests measured reaction times that fell within top percentile ranges. Those metrics bolstered belief. In boxing, data rarely lies, and Manny's numbers spoke volumes. Beyond physicality, the mental chess was profound. Barrios had built confidence on punking lesser contenders. His swagger thrived on bully tactics in the ring. But Manny's mind games traced a different map, one painted in decades of world title roadmaps. He anticipated punches before they flew, set traps with phantom feints, drew opponents into his rhythm only to shatter it with explosive counters. That cerebral edge can disarm raw power. Inside the ring, power still whispered in Manny's fists. He never relied on single-shot knockouts. His damage was cumulative: snap-crisp combinations, relentless angles, and precision placement. Time had steeled his focus rather than dulled it. Every strike served a purpose. Every parade of punches pressured foes into mistakes. That blueprint had felled champions across 4 decades. It threatened to unsettle Barrios's youthful confidence.
No fighter, and you as my witness, as any expert, no fighter looks more sensational than the Pacquiao.
Outside the ring, the narrative crackled with irony. In an era of Instagram exhibition bouts and celebrity scraps, here stood a legend waging a real war. No gimmicks, no pay-per-view sideshow. This was legacy in motion, old-school resolve meeting modern spectacle. The world watched generations, where past glory met present hunger in a collision of fists. As fight night approaches, the buzz swells. Analysts debate stamina, speed, and ring IQ. Barrios camps in California, tightening drills on head movement and distance control. Pacquiao retreats to the Philippines, sharpening breathwork and mental imagery. Two warriors converge on the same stage, worlds apart in age, yet eerily similar in intent. To leave no doubt. When the opening bell rings, history will hold its breath. Will Manny's return become a defining moment? Proof that grit can outshine any calendar? Or will youth and prime power swing the balance its own way? For Mike Tyson, watching from ringside, the question is clear. Can a man of 46 still possess the heart and lightning that once reigned supreme?
The Pacquiao looked the other night. No fight. Name a fighter looked more sensational than Manny Pacquiao did the night he fought.
This is more than a fight. It is a testament to boxing's timeless magnetism, a duel where years mindfully stacked against legacy, where questions of age, grit, and spirit answer themselves through sweat and leather. The world will see if the legend still commands the stage or if the new guard claims its place. Training camps buzz with relentless energy as sparring partners trade leather with fierce intent. In California's sun-drenched gym, Barrios navigates daunting drills, absorbing combination after combination, his chin tested and his guard honed. In Manila's humid heat, Pacquiao shadows the jab of a younger prospect, slipping punches with uncanny timing that betrays decades of ring wisdom. Neither fighter grinds through this process on autopilot. Every bead of sweat carries the weight of expectation and career stakes. That stark contrast, raw youth against weathered mastery, underscores why this fight transcends mere boxing.
Let me sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather. How do I sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather?
All right, hey, listen. Then that shows that you're a neophyte in boxing. You know nothing about boxing.
Behind closed doors, support teams work like clockwork engineers, fine-tuning nutrition plans that balance power and endurance. Barrios' trainers emphasize calorie-dense meals and explosive supplements designed to fuel brutal rounds. Pacquiao's camp, however, leans toward ancestral Philippine staples: rice, fish, vegetables, infused with modern sports science to expedite recovery and sharpen reflexes. This culinary duel of cutting-edge versus time-tested mirrors the broader clash between frontier methods and traditional wisdom. In every bite, both fighters stake their claim on who knows the true recipe for victory. Recovery rooms hum with the hiss of ice baths and the gentle whir of compression boots squeezing lactic acid from weary limbs. Barrios plunges into cold therapy, jaws clenched against the shock of sub-zero water on tired muscles. Pacquiao opts for contrast therapy, shifting between heat lamps and ice packs, invoking rituals practiced by champions long past. Massage therapists knead decades of battle scars into submission, coaxing pliancy into sinew and tendon alike. Each protocol, whether high-tech or ancestral, converges on the same goal: return to the ring sharper than ever. In the media circus that dances around weigh-in ceremonies, flashy suits and designer watches try to steal headlines yet fail against the magnetism of pure competition. Barrios steps on the scale with practiced poise, acknowledging a chorus of flashbulbs without cracking a smile. Pacquiao follows, embodying calm resolve, letting history's heavy cloak rest gently on his shoulders. Neither taunts nor trash talk pollutes this moment. Instead, a fierce respect binds these warriors. By refusing to engage in mindless hype, they affirm that boxing's true drama unfolds in the ring, not behind microphones.
You know nothing about boxing.
Well, excuse me?
Because no.
What? I ain't hear you, Mike. What'd you say?
That you don't know much about boxing.
Getting a little uncomfortable up here.
Promoters scramble to monetize every angle of the event, bundling pay-per-view packages with behind-the-scenes interviews and nostalgia-heavy highlight reels. Social media algorithms devour every clip, distributing slow-motion pivots and piercing jabs to billions of feeds. Betting lines fluctuate wildly as analysts parse training footage and rhetorical flourishes. Yet underneath the commercial spectacle lies an elemental truth. Two men will stand opposite each other, gloves raised, and test the limits of human spirit. Everything else is just noise. Veteran journalists spin tales of underdog valor and triumphant comebacks, but statisticians bury their noses in spreadsheets tracking punch accuracy, round by round stamina decay, and heart rate variability under duress. Data scientists correlate Pacquiao's past performance curves with modern sensor readings, projecting his output through sophisticated models. Barrios's metrics, conversely, highlight power output and height-advantaged reach, painting a picture of a young lion relying on brute force. These conflicting data narratives mirror the broader debate: does experience outvalue raw athleticism? The answer awaits resolution under the unforgiving glare of arena lights. Family traditions add emotional fuel to the fire. Barrios texts his wife before sparring, drawing strength from her belief in his legacy. Pacquiao calls home to his children in the Philippines, their voices echoing in his heart as he glides through foot-speed drills. These intimate moments, broadcast through tiny smartphone waves, reveal the human stakes often masked by the sport's brutality. Behind every punch lies a promise to loved ones that success means more than titles and paychecks. It represents sacrifice, purpose, and the culmination of lifetimes of devotion.
No one said who was better. I said there's nobody in boxing or fighting that looks sensational.
Sensational.
Comparisons to historic comebacks thread through boxing lore like a winding river. Muhammad Ali's return against Foreman in Zaire, aged 32, still looms large. George Foreman reclaimed glory at 45, underdogs wrote manifestos in his improbable victory. Yet those tales reside in bygone chapters. Pacquiao scripts an unprecedented narrative, 4 decades of championship caliber. Skeptics scoff at such audacity, labeling it folly, demanding a cruel downfall. Champions, however, view history as a ladder, not a ceiling. In the locker room, silence reigns in the final hour before the weigh-in. Barrios tapes his hands with unflinching focus, each strip of gauze sealing his resolve like armor. Pacquiao meditates, breathing in ancient rhythms taught by Filipino elders, breaths drawn deep, held steady. Trainers murmur last-minute adjustments, cutmen ready the box office lips of scar tissue with petroleum jelly. And yet, a sacred quiet persists. A shared understanding that words won't matter once gloves click together. On fight night, the arena pulses like a living organism, every heartbeat resonating through the rafters. Announcers call out both fighters' credentials, but their voices fade behind the roar of anticipation. Cameras capture the glint in each man's eye, the spark before the storm. The ring sits at the center, unadorned, its ropes stretched taut like the final line before the tempest. In that hallowed square, history waits to be written in the language of sweat and iron will. When the bell tolls, instinct overrules calculation for a split second. Barrios launches jabs that snap toward Pacquiao's temple, each punch powered by youth's unchecked confidence. Pacquiao responds with rhythmic slips and counters, his body winding like a coiled spring ready to unleash. The clash of styles grabs every spectator's soul, a young fighter's raw momentum versus a veteran's quiet cadence. Neither flinches in that opening exchange. Both stake everything on proving whose doctrine reigns supreme. Mid-round, sweat and blood mingle in a dance as old as the sport itself. Barrios connects with a thudding right hand, but Pacquiao's chin remains steadfast as rock. In retaliation, Pacquiao uncorks a rapid 3-punch sequence that rattles Barrios' jaw and steals his breath. Time dilates for a moment as the crowd collectively inhales. The elder warrior's artistry shines through the chaos, a testament to decades spent etching muscle memory into the very fiber of his being. Between rounds, corners transform into crucibles of urgent strategy. Barrios' coach roars directives: tighten guard, reset your stance, find your target. Pacquiao's corner whispers calm reminders. Stay light on your lead foot. Watch his tell before the loop. Trust your heart. Every instruction, whether shouted or murmured, carries the weight of potential destiny. Both fighters drink water laden with ice and resolve, trading fatigue for fleeting moments of rejuvenation. As the fight wears on, the narrative twists like a suspense novel with each round's close. Barrios' youth grants him bursts of flurry that test Pacquiao's defenses. Pacquiao's experience, however, yields counters that slow Barrios' engine, forcing him into recovery stances. Neither man yields ground willingly. They trade rounds like chess players exchanging pawns. The judges scribble notes furiously, anticipating a verdict that may hinge on the subtlest of advantages. In the championship rounds, endurance becomes the ultimate sanctioning body. Barrios' power flickers, his footwork loses precision, and fatigue etches itself into his eyes. Pacquiao's well-honed stamina, nurtured by years of marathon camps, carries him forward with unbroken intent. His punches, though less explosive than youth's peak, land with seasoned accuracy that accumulates damage. Each blow chips away at Barrios' resolve, rewriting the fight's narrative in real time. The final bell unleashes a maelstrom of cheers and disbelief. Neither fighter collapses. Both stand, drenched in the spoils of combat, each believing in their performance. Statisticians analyze punch counts and power connects, while fans debate online which moments defined the outcome. For Pacquiao, every nod of respect from his opponent confirms the purpose behind his return. For Barrios, surviving battered yet unbowed adds a layer of honor to his youth. When judges render the decision, they do more than award a belt. They affirm time's paradoxical dance. If Pacquiao secures victory, age bows to mastery. If Barrios prevails, youth asserts its brutal claim. Either result reshapes boxing's mythos, a blueprint for future comebacks or a cautionary tale about passing the torch. Regardless of outcome, the sport emerges enriched, its narrative tapestry woven tighter by this extraordinary chapter. In press conferences that follow, respectful praise flows freely. Barrios lauds Pacquiao's unbreakable spirit, admitting the old stylist's traps hurt him more than anticipated. Pacquiao commends Barrios' courage, forecasting a bright future for a fighter who dared to share center stage with a legend. Media outlets replay highlights in endless loops, dissecting every feint and counter. The world, momentarily united by shared drama, realizes that boxing's allure lies in its raw, unfiltered humanity. Long after the arena lights dim, the echoes of that night resonate through gyms worldwide. Young fighters study clips of Pacquiao's comebacks like sacred scrolls, hoping to glean secrets of longevity. Barrios' journey, whether triumphant or humbling, inspires another generation to embrace challenges head-on. Trainers debate whether science or tradition holds the key to extending prime years. Meanwhile, fans cling to memories of a spectacle that defied simple explanation. Boxing historians pencil the event into annals with reverence. They draw parallels to classic showdowns between youth and experience, yet note how few carried stakes so profound. They marvel that a 46-year-old warrior still displayed hallmarks of greatness in an unforgiving ring. That legacy, they argue, cements Pacquiao not just as a fighter, but as a living testament to the sport's undying spirit. And they credit Barrios for embracing a challenge few dared to undertake. In living rooms and pubs, debates rage over beer and blood-pumping highlights. Did Pacquiao prove age is just a number? Or did Barrios illustrate that fresh legs and hungry fists always find a way? Those arguments fuel the sport's heartbeat, ensuring boxing remains a crucible for human ambition. As long as questions outnumber answers, the ring will beckon challengers to step inside and settle disputes with honest fists. Ultimately, this saga becomes more than a fight. It embodies life's relentless cycle of challenge and response. It reminds anyone who watches that willpower can defy statistical odds and that respect between opposing forces elevates competition to art. It shows how tradition and innovation can intersect in violent grace. And it proves that in the squared circle, every man, regardless of age, can carve his place in history one punch at a time. Come witness history's next chapter. If you believe in heart, speed, and the unbreakable will, then you cannot miss this. Subscribe to stay in the corner with every jab, like for every weave, and comment below with your prediction.